Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Back another great episode of the Coach Me Coach podcast, episode 30 off in this deal, man. Look here, we got a lot to talk about and a little bit of time to do it. I already got 34 in the building. Today we are talking about a 2023 transfer portal, which has already begun. It opened up yesterday. And boy, if you think people ain't flying in there, boy, you got another thought coming. And of course, I got my expert, Dom, in the building. He in the background right now. But we definitely, man, we're gonna talk about that, as well as we're gonna talk about the college playoffs and the loss with USC, but TCU catches a L, but they still remain in it. So with all that being said, Dom, talk to me, baby. How you feeling today?
Listen, it's another day, another journey, another dollar. But Hayes, I got some crazy numbers for you, and I want you to start guessing. Just guess, all right?
Real quick, before we do that, I want to make sure, because I had some issues. I need a thumbs up real quick. Everything looks good and sounds good before we get started, before you drop these gems, because I know you finna drop them. But it's a lot going on. Here we go. There we go. QB says we good. All right. So, all right, Don, talk to us, man. You are the man with the plan and the man that has the information on. So talk to us, man. What's up?
I'll give you a few numbers, man. You ready? I want you to guess.
All right, talk to me.
1,005.
How many people enter the portal Monday?
No, that's how many people are currently in the portal. 1,005. Okay. That number just updated. Romello Brinson is now in the portal.
Yes.
In addition to Rooster, 708.
708 is how many people left Ohio State?
Well, that's kind of accurate. Thankfully, that's how many fans left. 708 is the number of kids that entered in the portal within the first 11 hours, 10 hours.
So the portal actually opened at what, midnight on Monday?
At midnight. At 11 o'clock, 708 kids had hit the portal. And I'm going to give you, and let me make sure I got this right, because this is constantly evolving. I'm going to give you one more number. 8.
Shad, what's up, man? Shad, what's going on with you? Y'all go check Shad out on his YouTube page, man. Got some good stuff up there. All right, you said 8. 8 would be how many left Miami in the first hour?
That's close. 8 is the total number of players who have withdrawn their names from the portal.
So they put it in Monday and they're taking it back out.
Mm-hmm. Only 8. The sad reality is, so there are some huge names that I didn't expect. And I do think NIL has a lot to do with it, because some of the stuff, first of all, let me just say this. You agree to it. The thing that's alarming to me, I just said 1,005 kids are in the portal. And just to give you an example, the portal don't close until next month. So we have a couple more weeks, and that's just for this part. And then there will be another session for a month where, kids can enter in the portal after spring ball, going into summer and whatnot. I'd say maybe 200 of these kids are going to find homes on the FBS and FC. Maybe 250, maybe. I'm saying in all of college football. FBS, FCS, NAIA, stuff like that. It is insane to me, because now the big fish are going to get paid. And why I say they're going to get paid is because I think I expected DJ Uiagalelei from Clemson to enter the portal. That was a no-brainer. I do think that he is going to, end up, going to UCLA. I don't even know what the heck that was.
Man, that's monkey mouth. That's a monkey mouth MF, man.
Man,
that's crazy.
But like Devin Leary from NC State, he's gone. Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State, he's gone. And I'm just kind of like, Pitt's quarterback, Keaton Slovis, he's back
He's
in the
got
portal.
there.
He just got there. He's in the portal. Well, guess what? Pitt probably has his replacement, from what I understand. And Boston College's quarterback, Phil Jakovic. That's more than likely where he's going to end up to reunite with his old coordinator. Graham Mertz from Wisconsin, he's gone. There's rumors about Drake May from UNC, which I just have to say, just squash those rumors because I don't think that's going to happen. His family, they're born, bred, love UNC. I don't think he's going nowhere. And then Alabama had their entire offensive line transfer. They had five.
Let me go back to Drake May because I know he was a Bama commit, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
And then he switched out and went to UNC. Do you think the Crimson Tide are sneaking in the back door?
That would not surprise me. I think
because do you think they really trust Jalen Milrose, if I'm saying his name correctly right now?
Mm-hmm. No. I personally think Devin Leary or Spencer Sanders will end up at Alabama next year. And I would not be surprised if out of Devin Leary, Spencer Sanders, and I think I named another top quarterback, one of them might end up at Georgia next year. That's just I think one of those quarterbacks gonna end up in the SEC. But man,
if Drake goes to Georgia, hide this Mills.
Oh, it's over. It's because Stetson Bennett does so much for them, and Drake May, with his ability to make plays and toss the ball down the field and push the football down the field, that would be huge for that offense. But
what about Jeff Sims from Georgia Tech?
You see, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I don't see him like going to a Florida State and starting or something like that. Maybe a team, USF, Barry Odom just got hired at, school at UNLV. Somebody, a team like that could use his services. And I think he can do well, in that kind of atmosphere, in that setting. I think he's a talented quarterback. But, I mean, it's I tell you,
with basically 1,000 kids out there right now, we could talk about, but let's talk about some of the few highly touted guys. DJU, where do you think he ends up?
I think he ends up at UCLA. Now, here's the tricky thing about DJU: he has to go to a place where he's going to start. Like you played this much, he has to go to a place where they're like, okay, you're coming in, you're QB1 until you lose the job. My thought was UCLA because, Dorian Thompson-Robinson is leaving UCLA. They're from California, from the Los Angeles area. St. John Bosco is where they went to school. I think a school like that, somewhere out west, is where he would, end up going.
So let me ask you, Brennan Armstrong from Virginia.
That's okay. I may get some crap for this. I don't think he's as good as everybody. He's good, but if you listen to people, he's the second coming of the Messiah. Like he's good, but I don't know what a good landing spot. I think maybe a team like a Oklahoma or something like that. I think he would be a good fit in an offense where he could spread the ball out and he could use his athleticism. But like out of Alabama, no, I don't think so. What if he came to Miami?
So anyway, Hudson Card. I don't want him. But Hudson Card. Interesting. With Hudson Card, was supposed to be the man at Texas.
Right.
Quinn Ewers comes from Ohio State. Well, let's go. Quinn Ewers was commit to Texas, Ohio State, leaves Ohio State, back to Texas, gets the nod to be the number one, QB1. Hudson Card says, all right, I'm out of here. Where does he land?
I have no idea. But I think he's a very intriguing. I like Hudson Card. Like, I think he would do well at a place like Georgia. I don't, I think because here's the thing: if he starts to struggle, then Georgia has a dominant run game. What I will say this will be interesting. Hypothetically speaking, what if Drake May goes to Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Hudson Card would be a good fit for UNC. A team like that. So, I don't know. Uh, that'll be interesting. I could see him at a school like Purdue, to be honest with you, a school where he can air the ball out and kind of use his talent. So,
all right. So we kind of ran down. I mean, you got Haynes King from Texas A&M. I don't know if I want to go. Let's just go there. Anthony Richardson declares for the draft. So he declares for the draft. We already know that Florida's backup quarterback got caught on some charges with child pornography. I think he got 5 or 6 counts on that. So he's out the picture. They're getting ready to go into a bowl game with their third string, possibly their fourth string guy. And don't they have the guy that came from Ohio State, Jack Miller? If I'm not
Jack
mistaken?
Miller, but he's been hurt. I don't know if he's healthy.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what Florida's going to do in this Las Vegas Bowl that they're going to get ready to play in here shortly.
Oregon State's tough too. So
yeah, and here's the funny thing. Speaking of them, and the number may have gone up. Last time I looked, I saw 29 people from Florida have already left in some capacity, whether it's transfer portal, declaring for the draft, or being arrested.
when when was the last time you looked up? Because I did see.
It was yesterday.
Okay, so they've had a few. I know Lorenzo Lingard.
Yeah, he was part of that 29.
He hit the portal, and I want to say they lost a corner, a safety. They lost somebody. They lost a couple people today. I do know. I just saw it. I forgot their name. They were defensive backs.
Y'all clap it up for the producer, Miss Ellen, in the building. Y'all clap it up for Miss Ellen in the building. Oh, Lord, I'm slipping, man. I'm sorry. Here you go. All right. So, Florida, like I said, Florida is losing a ton of players. I saw that Corey Collier jumped in there.
Yep.
Who's a Miami kid. He played a little bit. The safety that I really like, I think, is Donovan McMillan out of Pennsylvania.
He's gone.
Mean, he's a missile, boy. He would knock you to sleep. And he's gone. Gervin Dexter has declared for the draft. Shorter has declared for the draft, a receiver. You talk about a rebuild. How do you? Well, you rebuilding off your. This will be his second year there, man. But
they lost an offensive tackle.
there you go.
They lost an offensive tackle, and I think he committed to Arkansas. Or do I have that backwards?
I don't know, bro. They have so many people, and I can't keep up. Like, every site is different. I wish they would have it by school. Maybe they do have it by school. I'm just not cool enough to figure out what's going on. Oh, here we go. Maybe they get 247 has it this way. Florida Gators. See, and this is what I don't like. Florida Gators only have 2 people in there: Lorenzo Lingard and Joshua Braun.
See, I'm using On 3. I don't necessarily do the recruiting rankings, but the On 3 site.
I don't.
Man, they do have teams. Actually, I take that back. They do have teams. Give me 20 seconds.
On
and
3?
They have them. Yeah. So they got Dejon Reynolds. He's a receiver that entered today. Avery Helm entered today. He's a corner from Texas. Lorenzo Lingard. Yeah. Josh Braun, offensive tackle. He is with Arkansas. Naquan White from Carroll City. So yeah, they got
their whole backfield is about decimated too, right? Like, I mean, Lingard didn't play, but Naquan Wright. I mean,
they
Lingard
will have
in Florida State. He can represent all 3 of the Florida schools. He's been to Miami, Florida, now Florida State. If he goes there.
Here's how I look at it. Everybody who transfers that comes from the state of Florida goes to UCF. So I look forward to seeing him in the black and gold. So.
But Rooster, from my understanding now, that's where Rooster's supposed to land.
UCF.
Yeah. Who'd you say?
Boy.
Yeah, you say UCF as well, right?
Okay. Well, I said Lingard, not Rooster.
No. But I was just talking about the competition of Lingard being there. You know, they got backs already there on the roster. And then Rooster's supposed to be, from what I'm hearing, Rooster's supposed to be headed that way as well. So that'll be, whew.
Do you think he goes to, any chance he goes to Florida State?
I know that's where he was, I think, committed to first. I don't know, bro. I think Rooster's at the point right now that he needs to be the man.
Yeah.
But
he may not be the man at UCF, though.
He may not. But I think the other young man that came from Oregon is still there, right?
Yes, Trey.
Henderson, not Henderson.
Benson.
Benson. He ran all over us for Miami,
and they got a couple other kids. The name fails me, but he played down at Pinellas. Oh gosh. But they have another good running back that, was tearing people up. So they have about 3, and then they have a Ward, number 8. So they have, Ward. And then there was another kid that I can't remember.
Tualopia, number 9.
Toa Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And I just see it on the screen. JT Daniels, starting quarterback at West Virginia, is transferring to his 4th team. So I have 2 questions based on that and then one in general.
Okay.
The biggest name, arguably, in the transfer portal is Travis Hunter from Jackson State. And you're just Colorado or FSU?
Here's what's interesting about cornerbacks. I know this is going to sound crazy, but it doesn't matter where they play. They're usually on the island. Can they cover? Can they play man? Can they play zone? It's a thing where, and I'm not trying to downplay this. Yes, defensive line effect and all that stuff, I get it. But there are such island players. You can get them from anywhere, meaning I don't think it matters. And I say that to go on and say this. I believe he goes on to Colorado. Just because of the relationship. Just because he's accustomed to the coaching now. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But for cornerbacks, it's your man or your zone, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And you have to check. But they used him on offense too now. So,
well, they did, but I think he's a DB. If he's smart, he'll be a DB. So yeah, I think he goes. Yeah, I think he's going to Colorado. I would say 99.99999% sure.
And my last
Jordan Miller enters the transfer portal. Another D lineman. So we had Darrell Jackson, number 6. Oh my God.
Last question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of these players who this is like their 2nd and 3rd stint in the portal?
See, and again, everything is under circumstance, but it's almost like, what are you running from? Like, you're starting. Most guys are entering the portal
that
are starting, and that's what's baffling me. Like, you're the starting quarterback at West Virginia, and now this is your 4th school, and you're starting. Am I correct? Is it JT Daniels starting?
Yeah, he's a starting quarterback.
And I understand winning helps your draft stock, but your 4th school hurts your draft stock. So it's kind of like, I don't know, because, man, this stuff is so new. I don't know how these GMs look at that now. Again, you can't just up and go once you go in the NFL. But it also tells you they're going to have to do some real vetting of these guys of why. They got to find out a lot of whys and more than just what they do on the football field and kind of, what video games they like to play. They need to find out why these cats are in and out of these portals like this, especially at starting positions. Not like you trying to find a spot, or like maybe DJU where he knows the writing is on the wall for him. And yeah, he was a starter, but Cade Klubnik is really nipping at his heels and really biting his ankles at this point.
It's crazy to me because like some of these, and they do well. They're all. I get it. If you were like a fourth year player and you had like an all MAC, all ACC kind of year or something, and you get approached by a school like Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama, and they say, "Hey, listen, we need a playmaker to come in right away and play in the spot." And if you're, I understand that. I understand that. I understand if you're a QB or something and a coach or a running back or whatever. It's like if you are used to being coached by Jim Harbaugh, all of a sudden Michael Leach comes and you're a running back. Well, naturally, they're not going to run the ball as much. So,
Right.
there are certain things I understand. But like you said, these are starters doing good things at their program. And,
Coaches are still intact. It's not like the coach got fired and you're not sure what's going to happen.
yeah.
Like,
So
I'm lost. I'm lost.
and I understand, like, there's an element of this, and that's why I always tell fans, you got to understand there are conversations being had that coaches are having with players like, okay, you need to enter the portal. Like, you haven't produced anything here in 4 years. It's time for you to go find a new home. So, that is, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's an opportunity for you to go somewhere and play and use all that experience and play and get film on tape. And if you blow up and have a great year, make it to the NFL or whatever, but you played. But like you said, people 3-4 years, 3-4 different teams. It's just I don't know. I don't know. And I think NIL has a little bit to do specifically with someone like the quarterbacks who are hopping up and in and out of the portal, the star quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's a little nuts. So, man, let me read this dono. Dog for life, $5. Appreciate it. It says Bama, Miami, Georgia, and OSU, meaning Ohio State, ain't safe with any of the 4 and 5 stars. They say Colorado has been contacted by over 200 of them. Listen, I understand. And here's a little thing, shameless plug. Right after this at 9 o'clock, I'm doing the little Dion idea part 2. A lot of you guys may have seen the first part, but I'm doing part 2. It's already up. Check the community. But I got special guests. My man V12 going to be on there, but I got a very special guest that's going to be on there as well. I call him an expert on HBCU football. Please don't miss that. That is literally coming up in 35 minutes right after this, so you don't want to miss that. It's going to be exciting. I had a great interview with Steve Kim from Fearless with Jason Whitlock on the other one. It started like at 12:30 at night in the morning and then ended up almost like at 4 o'clock that morning or some foolishness. But it was a great interview. Gave us a shout out on the Fearless, man, in that deal. But it was great. But yeah, go check that out. We're going to talk a lot about Dion there, kind of what he did. I'm kind of done with that, but I know we're going to talk about it. But I really want to talk more about what challenges he's going to face now being at Colorado. I want to go to part of his deal. But anyhow.
I did that comment. I ain't worried about it. So we're good.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That comment, bro. But let me. Like, what happens with this many kids in the portal? Even though they're in the portal, does not mean they're removed from the school. Now, what happens if you don't get picked up? Do you go down with your tail tucked between your legs? Coach, I'm sorry. I just wanted to. I was in my feelings. I really want to be back on the team.
You know what pisses me off? I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You said it. NCAA did this on purpose. It makes no doggone sense. So today, as we're recording, if I have it's December 6th, right?
It is. But another 3.5 hours.
National Signing Day is a couple weeks away or a week and a half away.
I feel I believe the 22nd, something like that.
Yeah, 2 weeks away. I feel so bad for these high school kids because their recruitments are getting. If you're JUCO, like may the good Lord bless and keep you. I'm so sorry, and because it's listen, on my show on track and field, the dude came and told me, he said it has killed all the buzz and all the momentum in his recruitment. And thankfully he was able to find a home at Western Illinois. But I don't, you got the, so here, I can tell you from Ohio State standpoint, they can't really be overly active because they have to wait to see if they have guys coming back. So they can't really, your hands are tied, so you can't really do much. And then on top of that, coaches can't really prepare for bowl games, and you don't have a grasp of your roster. Who's coming back? Who's leaving? Guys are hopping in the portal. They're not going to play. They're people who are in bowl games or major bowl games who they're not playing. They're in the portal because they're trying to get a head start. And so it rushes the process. The kids have to make a decision. There's no guidance because, in my opinion, at this point, you're really operating on emotion. I didn't play as much as I want to. We suck this year. I don't like this. You don't get a chance to even. I'm not anti-portal. I just think the timing is terrible. A lot of kids. I'm saying this, and I just feel that there are kids out there who are being recruited that they're going to have to make some decisions. This is where the other teams, just the smaller schools, come into play, because let them die in the portal. I mean, come on, man. But this is where, some people going to have to make decisions like, okay, listen, if they take in 6-7 dudes in the portal, that's going to limit the number of scholarships available for recruiting. So maybe you have to go to a smaller school and play. And there's 1,000 kids in the portal. I said it to begin the show. Not all 1,000 kids are going to get signed. Only 8 went back to school. You were a coach, you know this. What if you wait? So the kids who went back, who decided to withdraw the name from the portal, this was done within 12 to 24 hours. This wasn't a 4 or 5 day thing. Mm-hmm. But what if you wait? What if you wait a week? What if you wait 2 weeks?
If you got 2 or 3 guys at your position.
And exactly. Not only that, coaches are making in-home visits right now with kids and recruit. So what if you wait and it does not work out for you? Well, guess what? You're not going to have a place to play spring ball, and you're kind of going to be stuck in the portal. Unless you, and it's crazy to me, man, because there's a lot of great players, a lot of high-end players who, and, mid-major conferences and stuff like that, who entered the portal, who could play out of school, but maybe you were better off where you were. And so you may end up, I think for schools like FAMU, this is great news, because I think you're going to get 6 or 7 kids.
So here's my question. I want to read a couple of them, but here's my question. Brought up something about these high schools. They're getting shafted in the sense of the whole recruitment. And here's what you're about to lose. You're about to lose the Ray Lewises of the world.
Yeah.
You're about to lose the kid that's on the cusp of being, a Division I player, a Power 5 player, but, may not highly touted. Like the Brandon Enos, those kids are going to have a spot. We get that. But those 4 stars, and what's funny, let me go back. I'm sorry. Those 4-star guys, or the lower tier 4-star guys, are getting pushed further and further and further down the recruiting block. And you're going to lose out on a few diamonds in the rough, hopefully, because you think you got a diamond already because you saw them sparkle a little bit here and there. You understand?
No Stetson Bennett, no Ray Lewis, no none of that.
Yeah, these type of things are going to be tough. I'm going to say this part as well, not part 2, but this part as well. If you're a coach in college right now, I know you're pulling your hair out. Mm-hmm. You have to be pulling your hair because, like you said, you don't even know what your roster. Like most coaches, at the end of the season or that last 2 games, you already starting to calculate what you got next season, what you need to work on, coming back. What adjustments you need to make. These guys get to the last game of the season, the conference championship, and you don't know who's coming back.
You don't know who's going to be at practice the next week.
And here's the second part. Now here's part 2 of that. Is this transfer portal is starting to hold these coaches accountable for their recruiting pitches.
That's true. Because somebody said, I was watching something, shout out to Mark Givler. He said something interesting right now, and he broke it down. He said, right now, there are kids who no, Urban Meyer's not coming back. He'll be on Fox. So I think the guy what will probably happen is maybe Ryan Day gets another year, but it will more than likely try to bring back Mike Vrabel from the Tennessee Titans. They will throw an exponential amount of money at him, somebody like that. And Ryan Day will go to the NFL. I don't think they're going to fire him. I think, he'll just say, hey, just go look for an NFL job and stuff like that. Made me lose my check. Yeah, but before I forget, they're just making promises. We're a couple weeks before signing day, so listen, we'll get you $3 million NIL deal. We'll make sure your mama and your daddy taken care of. Okay, we'll get you a new car, refrigerator, and stuff like that, and we will make sure that you see the field. You know how crazy it gets, and we will make sure that you see the field. We don't have anybody like you. You are the guy that could come in and make an immediate impact. And so you hear some of these freshmen talk. Coming, what do you expect? Oh, I expect to play a lot. Well, guess what? The portal is busting hell wide open with a lot of freshmen who did not see as much playing time as they were promised.
Potentially, because we don't know those conversations, but I know that does go on. And I'm telling you, like, this is what these young men have to say. And to Reggie's point, Reggie, for the $5, I appreciate you, man. You know I gotta always slap that face. Get out of here with that, Reggie. Says, Coach, how many of these kids do you think were influenced by family members or handlers to jump in the portal to try and cash in on NIL deals?
That's a great point, Reggie. That's a great question.
Yeah, excellent point, Reggie. But here is where these young men have to understand it's business. I told y'all a long time ago when I first started doing this, if a coach started talking that family crap, I'm out. I'm out of here. You don't think 1,008 kids were told it's like family? We're going to take care of your son. We're going to make sure he has everything he needs. It's going to be tough, but trust me, we got his back, blah, blah, blah. You don't tell me, bro, that is literally 10 football teams that's in the portal. 105 kids, that's roughly 10 football teams that is in the portal. If you look at it, well, you just go number for number for 105 man roster.
In 2 days.
And you think, man, but anyway, but listen, bro, I don't understand. But to your point, Reggie, I believe there are quite a few. I don't know if all of them are the case, but some of your high profile guys, I believe there are people talking. There may be agents, lawyers, because they can't have agents, but I think their lawyer is telling them, listen, I spoke with Coach X over at University Y, and they're going to work a deal out for you so you can, cash in on Z amount of dollars in this NIL deal. So, yeah, I believe, Reggie, to your point, it's a lot of that going on. Some of these players, because remember, it's 1,005. So some of these are the group of 5 kids and so forth and so on. If I'm not mistaken, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, there are a lot of players in the boat. And then you got some players that are like, bro, if I jump in this, what am I doing? Like, I think you should have some kind of counseling, dog. Like,
I always said that before, and I've been clear about this, before you enter the portal, they should have NCAA mandated courses that explain the pros, the cons, and all of that. And you have to sign off on it. You have to do it. You have to sign off on it. And from there, I would put a disclaimer: please have a conversation with your coach before entering the portal, because there's some if you are a starting quarterback and you're really good, right? If you're in a small town, some of the smallest towns in the United States have the most money. Somebody can hook you. You are the man. They will. You can get hooked up. Um, and so I don't, because here's the thing: you can go, you can be from the, what do they say, out the fire to the frying pan.
Frying pan
Like,
to the fire.
what if you go to a high level school and you stink up the joint, and now you've lost millions of dollars at the next level? You could play your way from a first day pick to a day 3 pick.
When you talk about the unknown, Dom, this is crazy. Crazy Kane, no, I didn't. It says, Coach, did you read what Coach DVD said about kids who, I guess, enter the portal? He made a powerful statement. No, I didn't. If you can tell me what he said, or if you can direct me to where that is, I would love to read that, Crazy Kane. But no, I did not. Real quick, Norman, $12 says, excellent assessment and another great show. Thank you, Norman, all the way from Hawaii. All right, and Shad, $4.99. Some of these schools having trouble making payroll.
That's the truth.
You talking about payroll so far as the NILs, you mean?
If that's what he's talking about, then. And here's the thing, man. I got to say this about recruiting.
Hold on, real quick, Shad. Let me know if that's what you're talking about, Shad. I'm not sure if that's what you mean when you say payroll. You mean so far as paying coaches or paying these NIL deals? So just kind of clarify that if you can.
I think that the NIL stuff, as you were saying, honestly, people. So I can tell you how Ohio State does it. They don't pay you up front. You have to be enrolled in the program to get paid. I can tell you a lot of fans don't like that. Why are
But I
we
think they
doing
do that everywhere. No, that's not like that everywhere.
No, you can cash a check as a high schooler. From what I understand, like, they can make you an offer up front. Here's the thing: Ohio State's not going to say, "Here, listen, man, you sign here. We got a $3 million deal waiting for you." And the reason, from what I understand, they do that is not to piss off the other kids on the roster, because they can be like, "So you are offering this kid who hasn't come in and proven anything all this money, but I'm making a significant, less amount. I'm getting jack squat." So from what I understand, and that has cost them some recruits, and it might cost them a couple dudes this cycle, but guess what? I can tell you something. I looked at that portal, and on the first day, I think Texas A&M had, before it started, what, Texas A&M had 6 kids or 7 kids in there. One of them is strongly considering, from what I understand, Miami, the defensive tackle. I cannot pronounce his last. You did his WRE. Adelele, or whatever the case might be.
I have to check it out. I thought, boy, you got me excited. I thought you were talking about Shamar Stewart, boy. Coach about to get. Hey, I went shirt off in 2 minutes, boy. I almost got busy.
But some of these schools that's paying out the big bucks, like you said, like, I don't know. I don't. It's the school, and I know when we push this forward, the school that has shocked me, man, Alabama, is not so. So Alabama's had JoJo Earl, arguably their best receiver. He's gone. They had another receiver gone. 5 off. Christian Leary's gone. He
jumped in.
Last I saw, maybe an hour ago, his name was in there. I can confirm it to you right now, but the last that I saw,
well, while you're doing that, I'm gonna read this. Kim the Tongue for the $4.99. It says, "Do you think they should cap the NIL deal amount per school?" I don't think so, because that puts you right back in the same category you were before. You're limiting your deal, and again, you can't. If you're going to do that, that's the same thing as saying you're limiting what somebody's worth. If you're going to cap it, then that means they should be able to use the school stuff as well. If they're not able to use school paraphernalia like jerseys or whatever, No, that they're no different than a kid uh doing an Aflac commercial as a student, but just they're actor on the side. They're a student at say Alabama, but they go do commercials for Publix or whatever the case may be. You
Yeah.
know, that's how I look at the NIL deals. Yes, they're getting more recognition because of who they are, but at the end of the day, they're not using the university's memorabilia and all of that stuff. Not memorabilia, and so forth.
Yeah.
And that was kind of rough talk about it, but thank you for the $5, man.
So yeah, Alabama wide receiver Christian Leary enters the transfer portal. Tommy Brockenmeyer, offensive tackle, he's in the portal. JoJo Earl is in the portal. Kyrie Jackson, their cornerback, is in the portal. Tanner Bowles, offensive lineman, I think he's a tackle. He's in the portal. Alabama running back, former number one running back in the country, Trey Sanders, is in the portal. They have a punter in the portal, Braylon Ingram from St. Thomas Aquinas.
The
Yeah.
punter said peace.
Yeah, the punter's like, I can't do this. So the punter's gone.
I saw Trey Sanders reach out to Colorado
Yeah, I saw that too.
on Twitter. Yeah.
Braylon Ingram, I think he got some playing time, or he could have been a starter or something. He's in the portal. Elijah Crockett, a running back, he is in the portal. Javion Cohen, I think he was the starting interior. I think he started at guard. He's in the portal. Trayshawn Holden, wide receiver, he's in the portal. Amari Knight, offensive tackle, he's in the portal. And Damian George, offensive tackle from Houston, Texas, North Shore, he's in the portal. So if any of y'all don't mind playing in the snow, come to Columbus. We got two NFL tackles. One's in the first round. Hopefully both of them in the first round. And so, feel free to come on to Columbus.
Well, let me ask you a question about that, because people always talk about the weather. Yes, we know it gets cold, but it doesn't typically snow until the January, February, right? I mean, you have some here and there, but I mean, it's not like it's killing. You may have every now and then, but snow doesn't typically come to January, February, right?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 games you'll see snow, but it's not like it's an everyday thing. 2 games max, and then you play the Big Ten championship, in Lucas Oil and Indy. I'm hoping and praying. Listen, I cannot wait for those California kids to come out to the middle of nowhere in Minnesota when it's 15 degrees and see how that air raid offense goes from there.
All right, yeah, because we're going to get into the college football playoffs. Bishop Franklin, appreciate you for the $5. Another great show. Coach Hayes' brother, Jay Blaze. I appreciate that. Let's push this deal because we're almost out of time. We got 309 people. So for those that's in here talking about college football playoff, which we're going to do here shortly, but we're also going to talk about the transfer portal, how nutty it has been. We didn't even brought up Grimes. My Lord.
Tony Grimes, man. I totally forgot about him.
I was in love with his gameplay, man. Like, this dude was starting at North Carolina and should have been a senior in high school. And this dude is really starting as a freshman, as a senior in high school. Man, come on, bro. I don't know. Why is he in the portal? I don't know. But if Miami wanted him, I would take him. I mean, I didn't look into a lot of that stuff. But real quick, I'm going to say this, plug this piece. Right after this, we're going to do a part 2 about Deion, but we're going to talk about forward thinking, things and challenges he may have going forward into Colorado. We've said what we had to say on that piece about Jackson State part. If you want to go check out that interview I did with Steve Kim, it was excellent, from Fearless with Jason Whitlock. Go check that out, man. But I got my man 12 going to come on there. We all HBCU grads, but I got a very special guest, Carlos Locke, who's going to come on, man. Actually wrote a book about HBCU football. Is a Hampton alum. We good buddies, man. Military dude. He's all on it. So he'll be on at 9 o'clock right after this. So we'll pop off this and turn right back around and come right back home. Tell you, hardest working man on YouTube around this deal. Dom, I'll let you wrap up anything with the portal. Let's go ahead and jump straight on into these college football playoffs.
I ain't got nothing to say. If you're good, come to Ohio State. That's all I got to say.
But if you're great, come to Miami.
Yeah.
I love it. So with that being said,
fair.
Bringing up Ohio State, great segue. Ohio State. Hey, sometimes it's good to have luck with the buck. Because let me tell you something. You guys jumped in. You like what I did there, man? So
Hey,
you guys jump in. There you go, man. Look, Ellen, upcoming live. There you go. She hit that thing. We ready to rock and roll. But it's good to have the Buck has luck when he gets in because TCU blows it. USC blows it. And I really thought both of them were going to drop out. They dropped USC all the way down to like 9 or 10.
yeah, they saw that defense, just
Right?
like, ugh, man.
That was crazy. So of course Georgia's 1, Michigan is 2, TCU 3, and Ohio State is 4. I have to say this. Shout out to Sonny Dykes, man. Come on, bro.
Great job. Great job. He's done a fantastic job. He deserves to be, if not in the running, I would give him the coach of the year.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely get coach of the year. I mean, that should be hands down. Right.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this quick. And then I do want to talk about Heisman. We got about 14 minutes, but I do want to talk about Heisman and how I think Hendon Hooker got sniped a little bit in my eyes. But anyhow, it would be Georgia, Ohio State. When does that game take place? I don't know. Next Saturday?
New Year's Eve, 8:00.
New Year's Eve. Okay, so New Year's Eve on the 31st at 8 p.m. And then what's the other one at 4?
Yep, Michigan and TCU, I want to say in Arizona.
Correct. Okay. Georgia is going to play Ohio State. Not being a fan, but being honest. Does Georgia have a chance?
Does Georgia have a chance?
Like the way I asked. Hold on, you like the way I asked that because you thought I was going to say, does Ohio State have a chance? So I try to throw your mind off a little bit. Go ahead.
It's Georgia's the favorite right now. I think the number increased to 7, and it's a home game. So now I will say this: I am interested because those fans in Columbus, they travel. Ohio State travels, and so you saw that in the 2014 All-State Sugar Bowl against Alabama. They definitely brought the house, and I do think that there will be a good deal of Buckeye fans there. Obviously, I would give the I'm thinking 60-40, 70-30, something like that. But I do think a lot of them will travel for this game because A, is cheaper. It's much cheaper to get to Atlanta than, to try to go on the West Coast. But it's your question, and it's warmer.
Why not spend New Year's Eve in some warmth? But go ahead.
So are you looking for my analysis of what I think is going to happen objectively?
Uh-huh.
I think Ohio State's going to be.
Pose a question to you to this, so you can answer this within. So Chad, real quick, 499. Dom, how do you feel OSU's wide receivers match up with UGA's DBs, O-line versus D-line as well? So you can answer all that within your synopsis.
So I think that Ohio State's offensive line in the pass game has been really good. Like I said, you got DeJuan Jones and Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson might be the first guy off the board taken as far as the tackle is concerned. What I will say this, obviously you don't root for injuries, and I hate that he got hurt because he is a phenomenal player. But Georgia's best pass rusher, Nolan Smith, is not playing, unfortunately. Fantastic talent. Here's where Ohio State struggles, and here's where Georgia excels. The interior. And there was a kid that played for Apopka High School that did at Apopka what he is doing at Georgia. And his name is Jalen Carter. I don't know how they're going to block him because you can't double team him because he's splitting double teams. And so for me, and then to answer the second part, Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they're going to put Keely Ringo on him. Teams have been able to get Keely Ringo. And here's the thing why I think Ohio State has a chance, specifically on offense. You can push the ball vertically on Georgia. The run game, we're not running the ball. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many healthy running backs we have, and Henderson and Mayan Williams should be healthy, Dallin Hayden as well. The offensive line should be relatively healthy. You're not running the ball on Georgia. I don't know a team who's done it, but you can push the ball vertically on him. So I think Marvin Harrison Jr. has an advantage. I think if they can find a way to move, especially since Smith and Jigba's not playing, if you can get Ibuka on some favorable matchups, maybe on a safety or, maybe with the linebacker, kind of exploit mismatches. When Ryan Day is at his best, that's what he does. He's able to exploit mismatches. And so I think they can have success. I will say, if I did a percentage, I would say 50-40, because as far as the percentage wise, I'll get the slight advantage to Ohio State's receivers, but this is the best secondary that they're going to see. Because here's the thing, Ryan Day can't come out throwing bubble screens, because those DBs will hit you.
Fast.
And they close in on the ball extremely well. So I think that it's a good matchup. If Ryan, like I said, the one thing that he said that gives me confidence about this game is that Ohio State has nothing to lose. And he said that's how they have to play. He said against Michigan, we played tight. We played like we had something to lose. Yeah. And he coached tight because Jim Harbaugh took him to school in the second half. And he did the same thing with Jim Knowles. And Jesse Mitchell did the same thing with Tim Knowles. But if they can play loose and just say, you know what, screw it, let's just go out and do what we do, yeah, it could be, they can make things interesting.
Got you. Real quick, I want to say this piece too. And Carter, I remember watching him at a pop. I have to say, he turned into a lot better player than I thought he was going to be. I mean, he was a big dude. I think he was 88 or something. He was playing tight.
He was 88. Yeah.
I mean, he was a huge cat, but he turned into a way better player than what I thought he was going to be. And so that's it. Somebody brought up Justin Flo. I forgot about him being in the portal. All right, Reggie says, Dom, how many times will Jalen Carter pick up C.J. Stroud with one arm in the game?
Here's the thing. You have to fight somebody after that, but you know.
Pick him up this arm right.
Yeah, and so listen, I ain't going to answer that. Listen, that's why your team not in the playoffs. So,
all right, real quick, I see my dog back there. I see him lurking back there. I see that boy. I see somebody. They tell me they coming. Listen, real quick, Michigan, TCU. TCU has had a problem all year of kind of playing it close to the vest, coming from behind wins, that kind of stuff. And they it bit them here at the end, but they had enough to stay in it. Does Michigan make light work of TCU?
No. Let me tell you something. That quarterback, Max Dugans or whatever, that's a bad boy. He will not let them do that. I think the best thing for TCU, to be honest with you, Hayes, they had to play a physical, tough Kansas State team before this tune-up against Michigan, because now you have a good chance, okay, this is what we did against a physical run game. This is how we can improve. This is how we need to get better. So Jim Knowles didn't coach tight. What are you talking about? Dudes didn't execute. If you run man against, and Jim Harbaugh is running man beaters and you don't adjust, what you call that? That's bad coaching.
No, listen,
if you put a second,
but I put it up there. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you put a second team corner in there and they're getting exposed against a starting corner, that's bad coaching. I ain't trying to hear that. But
And so real quick to answer that. So what do you mean by tight? Meaning, like, you weren't loose. You weren't in your game. You're not understanding your personnel. And I'm not Ohio State fan, so I don't know all of them. But when I saw the young man out of 18 with Martinez, I believe his name is, or something like that.
Yeah,
like that dude don't normally be out there. Now, it may have been an injury, whatever the case may be. But if you know you got somebody that's not up to par, you can't put them in bad situations physically when you know that they're gifted. And it's a whole nother thing. I mean, we can always debate that left and right.
Let me offer my apologies. So I ain't mean to snap, but that game still hurt me. But go ahead.
Reggie says, Dom, UJ is my squad. Thought you knew. A stack UJ wins. You game? That boy say he put 1,000 down, boy.
Look, no, I ain't got $1,000. I mean, I can spot you $1, but I ain't putting no snack on there. B12, what's going on with you, man?
You muted, dog. You muted out.
You muted.
That's how. Hey, listen. What's up, Dom? You in the building? What's up, Coach?
What up,
What's
man?
up,
How
baby?
you feeling?
Hey, all I'm saying,
I've been prepping for the next show. I've been prepping for the next show.
The man say I'm coming. That's all this man say. I got unfinished business and I'm coming. That's all he said.
We're gonna get to it. So listen, let's finish this out. What happens? So we're anticipating Georgia against Michigan. That's what we're anticipating.
You're anticipating, yes.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm anticipating Georgia versus Michigan.
Georgia gonna whoop Michigan. That ain't even a question. So, come on.
All right. So let me ask you this: What has this ever happened before? Michigan, Ohio State Part 2 in the Natty? Never.
No. And here's the thing: because of the conference realignment, the game may not be as significant as it once was. Like, I think this was the next year might be it. Like, that may be the end of it. So
we're gonna find out, man. And let me ask you this last piece: the Heisman thing. Before we get up out here, we're getting close to it. Because we're gonna do the other shows starting at 9:05. So real quick, like I told you guys, we're gonna do part 2 of that. I got my man Vitor, he already in the building. I got a very close friend of mine who actually wrote a book on HBCU football. When we went to school together, he was a lieutenant colonel in the military. Big HBCU fan, goes around all the classics, all the games. I don't care if it's Fort Valley State versus Albany State, he there. And I think he's gonna have a very interesting take on this deal. So please don't miss that literally in about 6 minutes. We're going to pop off of this and pop on to there. But real quick, Heisman. Let's talk Heisman. Do you think we already know that it's Stetson Bennett, TCU, Ohio State, and who's the last young man?
Caleb.
Did Hendon Hooker get sniped?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Over who, though? Out of those 4, who do you take out?
Stetson.
Stetson Bennett.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, if Hooker doesn't get hurt, he's definitely in. He should have been in. I mean, those losses hurt Tennessee as far as they hurt Tennessee in general. But I mean, he didn't have a great showing. But I thought that he would have had some more games to rebound. You know what I mean? So him being hurt really did hurt. You know, him getting injured really did hurt his chances of being selected into the top 4 or 5. But even with his body of work, he probably could have snuck in. What you think, Dom?
Hendon Hooker, he did so much prior to. I think
exactly.
I'll say it. The Heisman is a "what have you done for me on this week" popularity contest, and it's not a true measurement of what the award should stand for, because it's just quarterbacks, man. There's no receivers. There's no offensive linemen. There's no defensive linemen. So the whole shebang is an issue. So, Hendon Hooker got sniped. But like I said, this happens every year, because at the end of the day, you could argue the best defensive player in college football should be in the Heisman running. So that's just my 2 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. Even though he did get hurt, he was a game and a half away. He got hurt halfway through that last one. But what I think really hurt him, which I don't think it should have been enough, was the South Carolina game as a whole, right? I mean, just what it is, right? When you're the quarterback, it's all on your shoulders. Whether your defense don't play or not, it's all on you. You got to win those games. But at the end of the day, right, Caleb had to play, and he got that last game, and he didn't really play, even though he got dinged up as well. So there's plenty of, dinging up going around, if that's the right way to say it. But, with all that being said, man, we're going to jump off of here. Dom, give your last words. V12, we're going to see you in a few minutes. I'm going to let you off. I got to switch sites. And, guys, come check it out, man. We'll definitely be in the building, man, here in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely check out, get to my lactic acid, do Dom Smith _news, lactic acid podcast on Instagram. Looking forward to hearing this episode that's coming up. Got to give love to the Rattlers. Go Rattlers, baby. Bam, you know what it is, man.
I love it. Real quick, what's your prediction on the Heisman?
Caleb Williams.
Isn't that huge, man?
It's crazy.
Oh, that's huge right there. Look at him to pop back in. Who you think got it 12?
Yeah,
hey, Dom.
What's up, bro?
Caleb wins.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Dom, now real talk. Before you go,
Okay.
Hey, what's up, everybody in the chat? Happy holidays to y'all. I'm gonna be on the next joint. Hey, Dom, listen. I had Caleb in the league. I wrote that horse to the end, brother.
He got it for you.
Oh, so he gotta win the Heisman. I mean, he was the best player though, hands down, man. The man is phenomenal. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Hey, be safe, Dom.
Yes, sir.
Happy holiday to you, my brother. Nice seeing you.
Always great seeing you, bro, man.
All right, man. So with all that being said, that is it for the Coach Me Coach podcast, episode 30 here, man. We have fun. We live every Tuesday at 8 p.m., 8 to 9 p.m. every Tuesday, myself and Dom, as we talk about topics around high school, college, even some pros, just hot topics, man, whatever the case may be. A lot of it is college, but whatever's hot out there, we own it. And like I said, it is what it is. Go check out Dom at his the Lactic Acid podcast. Ellen, the producer, has been putting up the link, so go check it out. Hit the subscribe button, as well as y'all check my man Shad1419 out. Type that in Twitter in YouTube as well. I'm telling you, I like what Shad does. Drops a lot of little quick videos in there, 10-minute videos, 8-minute videos, 4-minute video, whatever. But it's real informative in a very short period of time. Coach like to talk a lot, as you see. I'm trying to get off here, and I'm still popping my gums. But anyway, with all that being said, 248 in the building. Thank you. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. And with all that being said, we'll catch you guys at the 50-yard line, and we're going to get up out this deal, and we'll see you literally in about 4 minutes. We're going to stay on the channel. You'll see another episode come up, and we'll be out of here. Peace.